My channel's a geezer channel.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
You got a bunch of geezers watching me.
I simply asked. I said, I wish I could have that so I make it. Well, I mean, how do you know what that is? I simply asked. I said, I wish I could have that so I make it. Well, I mean, how do you know what that is?
Oh, brother, this...
Life and Vibe, thanks so much. My queen, my Sarasota Tim expert.
That's what they say I am. The Sarasota Tim savant, the Sarasota Tim expert. Hi, it's Sunday. I don't know how happy it is. We've had a lot of news going on, and I just hope wherever anybody is, that everybody is safe. And I certainly don't want to downplay what's going on around the world at the moment, because things are serious. So if anybody has anybody whose family is currently serving in the military and is potentially getting apprehensive about anything going on, I just want to make sure that I send lots of love out to you guys. My own family, my father and my stepfather both served in the military, one in the US, another in the Royal Navy. And so long time served, 27 years my stepfather served. So I have a lot of empathy for anybody. My stepfather participated in the Falklands conflict. He also served in Sarajevo and other different places throughout his military career. And so I just wanted to make sure that I am not like Sarasota Tim and just pretending these things don't exist, because they do. And we're going to just get some relief now and get over to the court stuff and what's going on with us over here. But I did want to just make sure I said that. Yeah. Don't forget to repeatedly tap the stream with my finger. Is everyone tapping? Is that tapping? Is that tapping? Hey, Carol. Is that tapping a yes, hello? Hey, Sammy. Thanks for coming in. More like ST obsessed. Oh, yeah. Of course, American fakery, because anytime that a woman is discovering close to $100,000 in government loan fraud that this scamster known as Sarasota Tim wants to hide from the public, then obviously a smart, competent female must be in love with him. I suggest that you don't project your feelings of Tim onto me, because it seems that you're more interested in protecting his sanctity than I am. So good luck with that. And that's part of the reason why this gentleman tries to silence me. It's because of his fraudulent EIDL loan, sir. So well done. Keep being somebody who likes to protect predators and people who are probably the most scummy in the United States. So keep up with that. That's always awesome. In fact, while we're at it, why don't we bring up a copy of that EIDL filing real fast? Right there, sir. That is the proof of Tim and what's also going to be going into the court. Because I am going to be presenting his UCC filing as part of the evidence of his having financial means. And so I'm actually finding ways to get his PPP, his unemployment tax, and his EIDL into the small claims court in Virginia in order for me to timestamp that to the US government so that I can get an evidence package over to the US jurisdiction in the Middle Eastern District of Florida in order to make sure that I get my whistleblower on that. So that's why I guess I'm so obsessed with this person, because, you know, if I was a man, I'd be smart, but I'm a female. Oh, it's on my iPhone. There we go. It's back on my Yeti. Oh my goodness. It's probably on my iPhone. You can probably hear me saying, oh my gosh, I'm unplugged. No, I'm sitting on my couch. I've got, you know, a lot of space, obviously. I've got the microphone cord between my legs. So that's why I'm not on camera. Taking it easy. Hey, everybody. Yeah, sorry about that. Technical, I'm back. Hopefully you can hear me now. You're glad you missed the Geezer channel, Paul? Well, I'm going to have to play that for you then.
My channel's a geezer channel.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Got a bunch of geezers watching me.
I know you like that, Paul.
I can't even get erect.
It won't be soon. So anyway, yes, I unplugged myself. So I'm so sorry. Oh gosh. Hi, everybody. Okay, let's get into this. Okay. So yes. So I have a whole strategy coming into this. Oh, I can do all sorts of stuff, and we'll get into it. And I'm gonna give away some free memberships. Yeah, I have all sorts of ways to go out and garnish his YouTube income and to show that supposedly he has all sorts of business assets. That's why he has this EIDL filing, because supposedly he has secured this loan from the government because he's paying it back with the assets listed here. So supposedly Tim has all these business assets that are secured against this loan. Oh, he's in all sorts of problems. Well, I'm actually going to tell you, I'm going to be doing a type of subpoena to get his financial records. Give me a chance, guys. I got to tell this in an order. You're all jumping in with questions. I got to tell this in order. Okay. So this is the process. Okay. So as you know, we are going into court on December the 10th. And one of the things that I am showing, obviously, we know we have the UCC filing. Another thing that's coming in, and let me go to the desktop here, is obviously I have gone to the court and I have sworn out a warrant in debt. Okay. Yeah, grandma's got this. Well, oh girl, I know how to do all this. If anyone's got this, it's me who's come in and sworn a warrant out on Tim. He can't get away from this. He can't actually get away from this, especially the way it works here in Virginia, and how I'm also going to be able, as I said, to timestamp all the PPP, the EIDL. I promise you, this man has a paper trail longer than anybody, and all of his YouTube videos where he has spoken about this stuff. So I have all of this stuff that is actually able to be used as evidence, along with his own personal words and transcripts saying how he took the loans and how he paid it off in personal debt. But that's all something else. The UCC filing basically shows that this guy has a current debt to the US government that he says that he is securing with all types of business assets. So there is a way for me, and I'll get to it, about how I can actually bring that in and really screw him in the court. Yeah. Thank you, Thomas. I'll let you guys handle this in the chat because I have to keep like this interesting and in order. So as you can see, this is the actual warrant in debt. Okay, I've obviously taken out my personal information and Tim's, okay, to get through like YouTube's different things here. But you can see there is the actual case number for the case that has been sworn into the court. So if you guys want to go to the General District Court in Virginia Beach and look at upcoming cases, you will see that this case does exist. This is not me just blah, blah. This is actual receipts coming in. So make sure you guys hit the likes because it's a great way to help support me and the pups. Junebug is going to need another surgery. She has a rapidly growing, what looks like some type of tumor on her outside of her body. It looks like a rapid growing tag, but her cancer history makes me very concerned. So I'm going to do that. Yeah, I've dotted my I's and crossed my T's. Absolutely. RVing in the Smokies. Yeah. Grandma's pocketbook has a lot of experience. And I'm sure if she wants to get in touch with me via email and help with any paperwork she's collected, I'm more than happy to take that to court too. He doesn't realize he can't just laugh this off. This is very serious stuff. Okay. This is really serious. This is not something that can be just laughed at. So since I'm suing him in Virginia under the long arm statute, and I'll show you the affidavit that has been sworn out and what that means, I have a very large advantage over Tim. And obviously, since Tim has caused tortious injury to me as a business, and because he also has YouTube, and because the EIDL and the UCC filings, these are all federal, which kind of covers it a little differently, and how I can prove that part of the reason why he has been trying to shut down my channel is to do with my commentary and criticism that I have given this YouTube creator about his actually having the proceeds from illegally obtained, and they are illegally obtained. He's not been having unemployment, PPP, and depending on the date when he says he shut his coupon business, that is very important, because if he closed it before February the 15th of 2020, then he is going to really be on the hook. And even afterwards, he's going to be on the hook because he can't get all of those. And so there is a way that I can subpoena all of his financial records from 2020 to 2024 and make all of this actually part of how I present my small claims, along with the fact that this is what caused his animosity, this language that I'm learning that I'm going to state to the judge. But in order to show this as the probable cause for his persistent, frivolous copyright strikes of my channel. And so this gives me an opportunity to present his UCC filing. And then there's a way that I can actually take all the evidence that's been collected and send it already trial ready to the Middle District Court in Florida for them to potentially prosecute him on all the government money. So thank you, Thomas. Thank you. Thank you for becoming a YouTube member, Thomas. Much appreciated. The support, as we know, goes to help me with managing all this stuff. And also, I'm going to talk about how he can't get away from court. He can't get away from court because of this long-arm statute. If all these people want to say that Tim can get away with this, and I'm very efficient with paperwork. As a registered nurse and somebody who has decades and having been a previous school teacher, and lived in multiple countries around the world and have had to handle paperwork from just, you can name it. Me just having to figure out how to file some paperwork and put some stuff together is like child's play for somebody like me. I'll be honest. It's like something that I've always said, the one thing that I'm really gifted with is paperwork. I've literally had plastic surgeons that I have worked for go through their children's Medicaid paperwork and have me double check, because I'm so sort of like really like got that sort of personality for the minutia and the detail. Oh yeah. There is free parking. No, there's free parking. There is free parking at the VB courthouse, so he's got no excuse. There's plenty of parking. No excuses. He's no excuses. He doesn't have anything to excuse himself on this. Okay, so we got the warrant in debt. Okay, and then I'm bringing out, so you can see it's all here. My signature, the date, filed by the court, case number, buy me a coffee if you want to support me, sent over to Tim. As we know, I then had to do a very specific stuff. Yeah, all the time I used to watch it, he wouldn't want to do as a character witness. This is a win for the taxpayers. Yes, it is. It absolutely is, because it's going to go on. And I get it, even if it takes time, his sale of the gold wing also, and we have proof of how much he was selling it for, because we have his listing in Facebook. Thank you, Mark. All the people who sent me his Facebook listing of the gold wing. That's evidence, because I have video evidence and a transcript where he clearly says it's sold. So he can't say he doesn't have money to pay his small claims. And my attorney fees were almost $4,900. And it's not attorney fees for this case. It's fees that I incurred trying to protect my channel from Tim's frivolous copyright strikes, trying to get rid of me, because he wants to shut up anybody who criticizes him, and especially comes out with receipts about his illegal government loans. And one of the things that I've learned is the Middle District of Florida, the Manatee County, that specific jurisdiction is really going hard after these EIDL frauds, which is why I've been able to find so many cases already tried in that particular jurisdiction. And it's because they are going for people. Now, they started with the much higher amounts, but last year they were going for like the 100 to 250 amounts. And this year they're going for like the amount that Tim took out. So if Tim doesn't think, or if he thinks that the things that he's used to try to hide his identity from these loans, it's not going to work because they're going to cross-reference on all sorts of stuff. So that's why they extended this statute out too. So he'll bring Fred. Yeah. I don't know if he'll bring Fred. I mean, he can come to court, but I'm going to subpoena his financial records. Okay. So I have to do this long arm statute. And if he doesn't, I can get a default judgment. Now I have to show obviously all my probable cause, and I have obviously a lot of remittance statements, all the things and the line items and all the stuff that my attorneys have had to do to try to stop this guy from. He's shown all sorts of willful neglect in his behaviors and all sorts of stuff. I don't think he's understood that this is a serious matter. Tim's like what he did and all of the stuff that he took place. It's like it's a serious matter. All right, let me bring up the affidavit. Okay. All right. So this is the affidavit. This is what went to the Secretary of the Commonwealth. This is what puts Tim under. He goes when he gets this like long arm statute. It's like they explain it as he's like. There's a certain way that they explain him with being a long arm statute. That he's like Virginia's like basically going to serve him as part of this. When you do this like long arm statute, Virginia is going to basically get hold of him that way, like, and file him in here. So it says here, with your court date set for April the 10th, I have exactly the right amount of time to get my subpoenas issued. So I'm going to be getting some subpoenas issued as well and served under the Virginia long arm statute. So that sort of like that statute is what kind of makes him, brings him to my sort of, let me see how they explain this. So I can make sure it's clear, because a lot of people have been like, oh, she's only got a few cents she's lost, and not understanding the amount of time. It's code 801. It's all these different codes. Allow Virginia courts to exercise personal jurisdiction over non-resident individuals or corporations for causes of actions arising from specific purposeful contacts within the Commonwealth. And obviously he has received federal funds and taxpayer monies, which would include Virginia taxpayers within this EIDL monies and so forth. Not that that's tried, but because I'm bringing it to court, I basically do what's known as a whistleblower timestamp on it. And this could, help with getting it seen and over to these, I'm still, anyway, I'll get to it. It's a lot. It's complex. Okay. So basically, such as transacting business, contracting to supply services, or causing tortious injury. And it's the tortious injury that obviously is Tim's issue, because I would not have needed to spend close to $5,000 in attorney fees, sending cease and desist, counter notifications to YouTube, alerting YouTube to his misuse of the copyright system, which he still continued to misuse, how he was brigading and getting other people to try to leave nasty comments and threaten me and email harass me, and all the different things that he and a lot of his people were doing to try to get people off of them. Yes, it does. Virginia long arm statute has a direct and specific element of Florida if they are the defendant in your case. Yes, he is the defendant, and I am the plaintiff. Yes, it's a serious thing. It's not anything to be laughed at. And so obviously I've sent this in, and I had to then send all this over to the Secretary of the Commonwealth. I had to send 3 copies of this affidavit. I had to send also, I had to also send a copy of this warrant and debt. I had to send like a certified envelope, all these different things, like a cash, cheers check, all this different stuff over to the Secretary of the Commonwealth so that they can actually record this. And the minute I sent it certified, that basically put the sort of process in action, and began the process of serving him and have it recorded. So it's and then I obviously, I have a receipt. I don't know if they made a video, but I certainly have a receipt. I don't know if you had to pay extra for the video. I just had a routine served. But he got all of it served along with the copy of the UCC filing. It's not. Oh, says it's going to become serious when it becomes a federal case in Florida. So what might seem something small can actually become something quite large. And I can actually do my own get this recorded in the courts here with the UCC filings. So, yeah. Still, Tim doesn't like to spend even 79 cents on a cup of coffee. And he's not going to be able to get out of having this judgment, because if he doesn't show up to court, then I'm going to very easily win by default judgment here in Virginia. And he has to have a really good reason as to why he's not showing up in court. He has been process served by the Commonwealth here, and then he's been private process served. There's no excuses. And so anybody who ever wants to downplay these types of things, you're the types of people who get people like Sarasota Tim to be convinced to take $58,400 in EIDL money that he never should have taken out. So you're the sort of person who gets other people in trouble. Well, he can't get disability, and we don't have any Zoom here in Virginia. So he's can't claim disability because I have videos of him riding a dirt bike and dragging a dirt bike around. So that would get thrown out in court pretty quickly. So this isn't like Judge Judy. Like, I know it's a small claims, but that's because it's a lot less expensive than trying to spend years bringing someone over the coals. But the good news is I get to bring this stuff in. All right. So once I, so when I go to trial, obviously and if he doesn't show up, I'm going to ask the judge for a final default judgment for the $5,000 plus court costs. So I'm just going to ask for it. If he don't show up, I'm going to straight ahead ask for that. And even if he's not there, I'm going to show the judge his UCC filing. I'm going to tell the judge that the defendant obtained a federal EIDL loan by claiming a business that does not exist. Because at that time, he had long closed the doors of his coupon business. And so in June of 2021, there is no reason why Tim should have, and I'm going to take this down and put this back up, had all of this getting filed. There's no reason for that. Absolutely. And none of this. None of this. He has to show, because now I've got proof that he supposedly has all these business assets that he secured this $58,400 loan against, plus the over $12,000 in PPP, and then whatever he took in unemployment tax. This could get over $100,000. So what seems to be a petty small claims could potentially end up being a large a federal case against him. And at this amount of money, and when I send in my evidence of all of this to the U.S. I'm going to send this over to. This is going to get sent over to. Hold on. I'm going to send this over to basically the U.S. jurisdiction for the Middle District Court in Florida. So there's a way I'm going to get this sent over, all the evidence, and get them like already with it pre-trialed and showing that I have a case that after the April 10th and I win this case in small claims and he doesn't show up and all of this, it just starts to show a pattern of his behaviors as well that will not make him look good in court. Or none of this is going to make him look good in court. Yes, thank you, Grandma's Pocketbook. At least I'm going to get 15 to 30% potentially of what the government recovers from him. If they think it's bad enough, they could ask for 3 times what he got out of them. Plus, he could be looking at wire fraud. This could actually get quite serious for Tim. So he shouldn't have been messing around with people as much as he thought he should. And I know there's going to be some people who want to downplay this, but there's a reason why they extended the time that the statute of limitations on these could be taken, because there's thousands of these. But if you can already present it to the jurisdiction that you have all the evidence and that this person's been trying to shut you down because you've been trying to mention this on your YouTube platform, it actually works, as evidence. They love all this type of stuff. Tim can't claim anything. Anybody says, I know it's just for fun and larks, but Tim's not going to be able to claim for anything. No, his coupon business didn't acquire anything. No, I promise you, I've got him over a barrel. He's not smart enough to understand any of this. And we have all these videos of him buying stuff and selling stuff and getting stuff. And so we have his whole entire channel is evidence of all of these shenanigans happening. Oh, and it's also I can I can do a writ for the garnishment of his YouTube money. This is okay. So here we go. So, and then I need to get the certain paperwork. So if he doesn't show up to court, I go for the default judgment. I've got obviously all my receipts, all the things in order to show fully that I am, really am asking for 5,000 because there was actual harm. I've got receipts of harm because of this attorney, not an attorney hired for this. I've done all this by myself. The attorney for all the other stuff, basically asking him to stop doing his other actions towards me and so forth. All the stuff that I sent with demand letters and things, all the money I spent on that, plus, a couple of $100 of lost YouTube income from my videos coming down because I was monetized. And then that would actually take me over 5,000, which they say is fine because the judge can then round it down to 5,000 plus costs. And so all the costs that I've had to spend as well. So I then asked for an abstract of judgment from the Virginia District Court clerk. And this is a official transferable version of my win. So I get this abstract of judgment. And I have to make all these copies, and there's all these certain rules. But that's okay. We just follow it. And then what I then have to do is domesticate the judgment in Florida. So I'm going to add this back to the stage. Okay, so that's my affidavit. He's being sued by an elephant and it wants its skin back. Make sure you hit the likes on the way in. We'll do a quick react on the way out, guys. I just want to explain this. And, he's been just willfully ignoring my attorneys, my demand letters, everything. He has shown so much. It's, this is not showing well on his character. A character does matter when you go to court. And it's not just about him being a good Christian. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, that could certainly be submitted into something towards the jurisdiction. And obviously the fact I use senior here is to make sure that the junior doesn't get in trouble for the senior. And I can even show that on his UCC filing, he doesn't specify that he's a senior, which is kind of a way of hiding yourself, especially when he knows he's a senior to a junior. So that isn't, that's kind of bad as well. The way that he's tried to do stuff is like, he thinks he gets away with it because he's gotten away with all sorts of stuff his entire life, but he can't get away with this one because I'm actually going to make sure this gets, now if the court wants to take it up at that point, that's fine, but at least I'm going to get my $5,000. Okay, so what I would then do is a Virginia court cannot directly order a Florida sheriff to seize his, property or whatever. So what I have to do is I have to make the Florida courts recognize the Virginia order. So I just file in Florida, and I can do that via mail, which they actually say is the best way to do it. It's by certified mail. So I just send that to the Manatee County. And then I get a Uniform Enforcement of Foreign Judgment Act. And this Florida law, Florida follows this law, which makes the process relatively simple. It's basically registering your Virginia win, so Florida sees it as their own. So it's not a difficult process then to take this from the Virginia win over to Florida. So it's not difficult. So all the people who just want to say, oh, it's petty and this, that, and the other. Well, we can, make sure that Tim doesn't just take down people's channel and petty strike people's channel. And if I get my, default into this and I get to maybe garnish his YouTube earnings, and they will. Once this goes, is it going to happen within, 30 days? No, it's a process, but it's a process that will work because I'm going to subpoena all his stuff too. And his tax records and all sorts of stuff. And that's really getting, he's gonna get subpoenaed for all this stuff. Okay, so in a minute we'll do some giveaway. All right, so once the judgment is registered in Florida, I can actually go after his income. So I can do a garnishment summons, and so I file a garnishment summons against Google LLC. And you can actually do that to their Florida office or something. So since Google pays his YouTube AdSense revenue, you serve their registered agent, which they have a registered agent in Florida. So I serve Google's registered agent in Florida. And then Google is legally required to divert a portion of his monthly pay to me until his $5,000 is paid off. So Tim just then makes the choice, oh, well, I shut down my YouTube channel. Well, that's okay, Tim, because I will then garnish your bank accounts where you have that money you got from that Goldwing sale. So, you can run around, Tim, but you're not going to be able to hide. He won't be very unless he stops making it. No, he's not. But that doesn't matter because he's, registered his cars and all sorts of stuff. He's going to have to be the fastest man getting off grid. Read the book on petty. Yes, he did. It is 10 years. It's up until 2030. So we still have plenty of time to get this in there. And obviously I'm going to make their case easy. I could do a USB copy of that video on Jigsaw's World with a full transcript highlighted to the timestamps of when Tim talks about taking all of his EIDL loans and paying personal debt with it. It's just it's all there. That whole video is there. And along with all the filings and then everything else, along with subpoenas of his bank accounts and tax records from 2020 to 2024, his business tax filings, because supposedly he has this coupon business running, because that's why he has $58,400 in the IDL, because that was to keep his business open. It wasn't just I get a loan and now I shut my doors. You're going to get in trouble if you just did that. Your brother owned a business with employees and couldn't get one at first. Yes. Well, Tim was one of those. And he took $58,400 because he admits very openly it was more than the PPP. And I found out through records that his PPP was well over $12,000. So we know he's already over his amounts. So, this is, Tim has already done all that, and he's put so much out on the internet. He's like written the case. So it's really, I'm just going to pull all of this evidence together along with all the copyright strikes where I'm calling him a Christian cosplayer and whatever. And I have obviously the evidence that my videos were all restored. So this was all frivolous on his part, just malicious intent to silence people. All right. So I can use the debtor's exam. If he still hides the money, Virginia law allows you to file a summons to answer interrogatories. I'm sure I said that terrible. Lord of my life, I'm not saying that word again. Because he's out of state, you can often do this via written questions he must answer under oath. Ask him, list all bank accounts where you've received EIDL loan funds or YouTube payments in the last 12 months. Tim should like this. I asked some of this to AI. If he lies, he's now in trouble with 2 different state court systems. Before April 10th, you should confirm with the Virginia court clerk that his service was perfected, that he was legally notified. So, if I did anything wrong with my paperwork, I spoke to the office at the Secretary of the Commonwealth and their process serving department. And they told me if I did anything wrong, they would send everything back to me with a thing explaining what I didn't do properly. So far, I've not received anything. And I certainly made sure I tried to do everything at the best to my ability. All right. And then I need to have a printed copy of the ECC file ready to hand to the judge. And by gosh, I'm going to have a copy of that. And do I have the exact, and then obviously I know that I'll get my abstract of judgment here in Virginia Beach. Okay, so that's that part. And he claimed he didn't get enough PPP money because it was based on his underreported income. Well, it's about $12,000, of which he's never had to pay back a penny so far. Hell hath no fury. Well, I don't think that's fair to say. I don't think so. I'm just somebody who is finding fraudsters and scammers on the internet. If there's somebody else who's doing the exact same thing or has done it, I'll look at them too. I just know that this is somebody who was faking a lot of what he was showing on his platform. He did it by obtaining monies illegally from our taxpayers. And so now, there's ways to, make sure that obviously he doesn't get always away with stuff. Okay. So let's get to this next part. All right. So that's the last little bit. Okay. All right. So I was wanting to talk about these subpoenas that I'm going to be doing. And then we'll go and do a quick giveaway. So let me see. Let me try to get to the bottom of this. Go on. Oh. Let me find this. I apologize. I'm trying to get this thing about the subpoena. Here we go. All right. So there is okay. So one of the things that I want to try to do before I go to court on April 10th is what's known, and I apologize for my pronunciation, subpoena ducis tecum. Tecum? T-E-C-U-M. Tecum? Subpoena for the production of evidence is the correct legal tool, to compel a defendant to bring specific documents to court. And I'm representing myself, and so I must request this form from the clerk of the General District Court where I filed my case. So I might have to take another trip to the courthouse this week. So obviously, when I go to the court, I'm going to use the form DC-325, and I'm going to say the following things under the titled description of paper, books, or other objects. And so I'm going to ask that the defendant, Timothy Baker Sr., is commanded to produce the following records for the period of January the 1st, 2020 to January the 31st, 2024, because obviously he's still filing for 2025, so that's not going to be possible. All IRS Form 1099-G records reflecting unemployment compensation received, all quarterly wage reports or employer tax filings on his Timothy R. Baker oil change coupon business that he used for his ELDL filing. I want all his documentation that he submitted to the SBA for his PPP and EIDL loan application, including his payroll certifications. And I'm going to be requesting all bank statements for accounts used to receive government relief funds or YouTube monetization revenue. And then I'm going to request this from the clerk. I'm going to ask him for this subpoena ducis tecum, which I apologize. And obviously, I have his name and address, and I know it's correct because I had him served there, of which he was served in person. There's a small filing fee. I will then get that back another time, sent up to the Secretary of the Commonwealth following the same process I did before. And I'll serve that subpoena up to him. And ensuring that makes that legally binding long arm statute. So I always have to make sure these affidavits go in place up to this Secretary of the Commonwealth, just to make sure the long arm statute is used, making him in Florida bound by Virginia jurisdiction. And then obviously he only needs 15 days, which I still have time to get that to him, to get his records gathered. And if he does show up to court and he shows up and he's been served the subpoena and he doesn't produce them, under Virginia law, I get to ask the court to draw what's known as an adverse inference, and that these documents would have proven his business was defunct and his copyright strikes were made in bad faith. So I'm going to do all that. And I'm going to fill in these subpoenas, and I'm going to get all my evidence, including his UCC filings. These are what are known as my impeachment tools. If he lies on a stand, any video transcript, my long arm receipts, and so forth. And then I'm going to make sure that I get this all put together as a package after the court date. So once I've won in court, I'm going to then get this up to the U.S. Attorney's Office of the Middle District of Florida to the attention of the COVID-19 Fraud Task Force, with evidence of the EIDL, PPP, unemployment insurance fraud of Mr. Timothy Baker. And then I'm going to talk about his alleged fraud, how he shouldn't have been eligible for it. Subject received federal relief funds for a coupon business that he has publicly admitted on video was closed and non-operational at the start of the pandemic. Well, I might have to change some of that, or he closed it at the start of the pandemic. Unemployment fraud, because he said he closed his doors. So I just need to find out when exactly he said he closed his doors. The UCC filings, discrepancies in payroll and business status used to secure benefits. Also, while potentially, I wonder if he was monetized on YouTube at that time. Maybe not. UCC filing discrepancies. The subject's UCC1 filing lists a defunct business address. So the fact that he used that Manor Loop address, and that's now a defunct business address while he resides at a different address, is a problem. Obviously, he has a pattern of malice, towards me. So yeah, so that's where we're going to take it from there. Oh yeah, don't worry, Tammy will be included. I already included her on one of the things. And obviously, one of the things I also have too are copies of when I actually filed the time with the I've made some reports and stuff, and I believe I have the receipts of those. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on. And yeah, it's a lot. So if that didn't make sense, I'm sorry. Let's give away some Life and Vibe memberships if you've made it this far in the stream. Make sure to hit the likes and we'll do a quick react. So yeah, I took it all and paid off some debt. Personal debt. Yeah. None of this should be allowed with this. Under that UCC filing right there. All of this stuff, all that paper chattel and stuff, he supposedly has it all secured. Stealing from the American taxpayer. I think 100K just stolen from the American taxpayer is damage to all of us, you fakery. Fakery in the chat. Somebody who likes to pretend that they love this country, but they're just sitting in their basement hating their life, and they hate everybody because of their bigotry. That's who you also. Oh, this country's always got these folks in it. If I was just a regular male YouTuber doing this, I'd be a hero. But I'm just a scorned woman if I'm smart enough to take down a man who didn't graduate from high school. Like Tim, not hard to take down. Yeah, he's new here. Oh, I did this paperwork myself. Grandma's pocketbook hasn't helped me with any of this paperwork. She did her own paperwork for stuff. She certainly supported me financially with helping with this. I want to say that. Not like, contributions that people sit by me at coffees and stuff, and I'm not going to say really what's going on. Because people are nice and watch the channel and show support, and that's what helps me get this stuff done. But all this paperwork, I found this was the stuff I found on my own. But I know that they had found it, but the channel got taken down. I've just been fighting Tim because he wanted me taken down as well. And I just decided that I wasn't going to let him do that because he'd done it too many times and was getting away with too much stuff. And then I was able to think, no, he kept striking my channel again and was laughing and just doing his usual. And I think he's telling his daughter that we're a bunch of haters over here without saying, hey, I took all this money. And we know he deleted the video off of his channel. So, yeah, this is real stuff. And he can sit there with his Crushing It for Christ videos and talking about being a good Christian and all this stuff. But I promise you, like I said, one thing I'm very good at is paperwork. And I've had to deal with huge amounts, swaths of paperwork working in my professions. So I'm not a legal expert. And obviously, taking on a large case can drag on for years and cost tens of thousands of attorneys and get nowhere with someone like Tim. Whereas this is a much more effective way for me to get at Tim and get a little bit of his pocketbook too. Because Tim is going to hate the fact I am going to get this money. As much as he thinks he can run and hide, there is no way. He has too much, the way that I can get, he's got bank accounts and he gets Google AdSense. This isn't a man who's just stuffing his hundos in a pocket anymore. This is a man who had to have a bank account to receive that EIDL money, which would show that he supposedly has money to pay for this debt that he now owes to me. He's got himself in a bind. Oh, Tammy's helping with the paperwork. Oh, okay. Thank you, Stacey, for clarifying. I was going to say, Grandma's Pocketbook has done a lot of research, but her research got taken down by Timmy. But to say this, well, if Tammy helped him with his paperwork, then she's as bright as he is. Let's put it this way, because the two of them then colluded for him to cause fraud. And he could be spitting out his videos. All right, let's do a giveaway. Yeah, I don't play. Oh, no, I don't play. You know what is so funny? Because I'm a woman who doesn't play, I get, called the name of a female dog. And you know what? And I'll take that. I don't care. Just shows, how mediocre people are. If people are going to be mean like that, like I said, if I was a male creator and doing this, I wouldn't be given half the hard time that I'm given as a female creator. Yeah. Tim Lisa, Chemtrail. Yes. Oh, and he's found through his Google AdSense. That's the thing. The only thing we have to get is electronically to his bank accounts. He could keep running around. Tammy's YouTube is Tim Tam 40. 40 years in jail. It's a slime trail. Make sure to hit the likes, guys, for all my hard work. Because there was somebody who was trying to say, why is she going after this guy? And then somebody tried to explain it as, oh, he just, she wants to get in for some copyright strikes for a couple of pennies. And people love to downplay what other people are doing, for whatever reason. I have no idea why, because this is real. And he can keep going out there in his little videos. And your best friend is a private investigator. We'd like to pressure Tammy into talking by telling her we were going to investigate Timmy. If we find out Tammy helped him, we're going. Well, they lived in the same address, Johnny. They lived in the same Manor Loop address at the same time. So I'm sure she was aware what he was doing. They were on the lease together. It's ridiculous to have to go through this. I don't know. It's ridiculous. But it was ridiculous that Tim felt the need to keep copyright striking me like 15 times. All right, slight exaggeration, was like 10. But that's a lot. That's a lot. And it just shows how much he wanted to silence me. And all of this is doesn't look great in the courtroom. And so I just think that it's like, YouTube is his drug of choice. Oh, yeah. He was spitting the videos out. Okay, let's get to the Timmy Reacts, because I knew you're all here for a quick one. Oh, I was going to give away. I was going to do a giveaway. Start of the month. Okay. Giveaway. I am gifting some memberships. Thank you guys for watching. 5 freebies. All right. Lucky new members to the Life and Vibe community. Erin Tay. Just Jessica Oak. Cozy J. Brooke K. April Parker. Oh, lucky recipients of the Life and Vibe membership. If you have never joined us, check out the Timmy material. You might find it interesting. You want to get Tammy talking because if she did help to, well, yeah. Well, if they live together in the same address, I would think that would make her complicit to knowledge. At least to be questioned by the attorneys and in the at the attorney's office in Middle District of Florida, because they lived together and they were on the same lease at this supposed business address that he secured this loan to, that he no longer is a resident of. Or unless he's using that as his mailing, like his home, his residence address on his forms or his taxes, he shouldn't. Hasn't lived there for years. I'd love to know where Tim does. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm putting in for a subpoena to get all this information. But obviously, I already know how to garnish his YouTube money. It's not difficult. It's not expensive. It's not difficult. And the thing that Tim hates the most is parting with money for something like $5,000 in the return of my attorney's fee. If you don't think that $5,000 is going to sting Sarasota Tim. Oh, Sammy, member for 12 months. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate your support for the past year and for being such a fantastic moderator. You, Angel, and Catherine are fantastic moderators. And we are so close to almost 1 million views on this channel too. So the day I hit 1 million views, which is not far, guys, I cannot believe it, 1 million views on this channel. I appreciate it. So make sure you hit the likes, guys, because one of the things that I do want to try to stress, and one of the reasons I hope I can get some views on this channel, on this part particularly, is there are so many small creators who go through what I went through with Tim. And if they are prepared at least to put their name and address on the counter notification and know how to properly word a fair use response, they can potentially, do what I do and take this person to a small claims court. And, and actually, in a different jurisdiction. It doesn't always, it depends, you have to look at your state laws, but it opens up a bigger opportunity to do things in small claims courts instead of always having these big cases. And I think a lot of creators get knocked down because a lot of bad actors on these platforms that want to shut down channels that talk about people's misdoings. And Tim is somebody who misleads his audience, gives out terrible information when he shouldn't. And on top of it, is somebody who, I know. He did. He hit you up too. Yeah. He's going to forget to dye the hair. All right, let's get over to Tim's channel. Let me share this tab instead. Let's make sure we get in a quick react before we wrap it up because I got to get out to my kids. So I appreciate all the support. Make sure to hit the likes. But yeah, Tim's gonna have to pay his money. He's not gonna be able to get away from it. So as much as he wants to run around and do his little, crushing it for Christ shorts and his, devotionals in 3 minutes or less. Look at this one, got 1,000 views. Raffaella had a birthday. Look at all this. Crushing it for Christ. What is it? What is up with this guy? Seriously, Tim. Seriously. I think he just thinks it's funny. But no, Tim. I've already collected all of this paperwork. So my next logical step is just getting this case completed, which isn't that far away, getting all the other, and then I'm going to get all that stuff sent up to that attorney's office or down to that attorney's office in Florida on your EIDL and your PPP and all of that, and let them handle it. And as I said, I would have had it presented in my case. So this is the one thing that could be fun, is the fact that when I get this time stamped in the court, then I officially become a government whistleblower for that federal loan. And if the government gets its monies back, I potentially, because I've done it in this manner, and then send the evidence, to the U.S. Statistics Attorney, I could potentially get the whistleblowers, like they give a certain amount to the whistleblower for the recovery of the money. So it can be anywhere from 15 to 30% of what is recuperated, which, they're going to tell him he owes everything back. His probably all of it, because he never should have had any of that at this point, because unfortunately he needed to either take the unemployment insurance or the PPP. He could not take both, and he took both. So that already puts him into the legal conundrum, quagmire there. And then that following 2021 taking of the EIDL puts him in a further quagmire, because that's a business he didn't have anything in operation. He needs to show that he actually had like payroll and taxes and all of this stuff. And Tim doesn't have any of that type of paperwork. That's why he skirted around with those hundos in his pocket his whole life. But he needed to try to actually have, and I think he thought the statute of limitations would come to an end in 2025 and he would be free and clear. So he's just been kind of laughing his way. But now those limitations have been extended until 2030. And Tim happens to sit, like I said, in a jurisdiction that is extremely active in going after these COVID fraud cases. Like Florida's on it. So it might be that we can use that state to our advantage and that particular county. So I don't know who's going to be an accessory on his flowers. I'm hoping, I don't think so. Do you think? Oh no, I don't think Tim thinks he's in any trouble. I don't think Tim realizes that I'm going to put the entire case together for the U.S. District Court, pretty much everything that I can get, that I legally can get hold of. Now, all the other stuff that I'm trying to subpoena, if he doesn't show it to me, again, that's Tim, it's just more stuff to make his character look bad. So all the stuff that he's chosen to do, ignore my attorneys, never respond to the cease and desist, all of these things, people laugh about it, and, but you always have to be cautious about, influences and who you're listening to, and people trying to say this is small and petty, because it might turn out to be not as small and petty as somebody thinks. And Tim has just been out here laughing as always. He's shoved out a bunch of videos because it was end of the month and just cranking them out. I was going to do that, but I was so tired yesterday. I was like, I need to decompress from all this, because I'm going in for much bigger things with Tim. So, yeah, well, I don't know what paperwork his daughter helped him with. It might be his taxes, but, he's got all these YouTube earnings and then all this Social Security. I mean, Tim could have gotten himself, and they don't care if he's 67. Shoot, they didn't care for that when they try a bunch of people. They don't care about that. Tim, it's got himself in a real pickle. And he's been arrogant and an ass about it too. And so it's going to be his undoing in the end. Make sure you hit the likes. And helping him. Yeah, well, his taxes are he needs to get those in order. I'm a legal avenger. One thing that was documented, Ray, we went and sold the oil change coupon that he got cash and just pocketed. Yeah, he says it all the time. Oh, yeah. I mean, the IRS could do their job too. There's ways to alert the IRS about this stuff as well. Oh, it's just so much things. Oh, yeah. Tim thinks women aren't very bright, especially people in the medical profession. He thinks he's so much smarter than doctors and healthcare professionals and all these folks. He's just the smartest man in town. Oh, here he is. He's got to put out his e-bike video. Tim, does that say includes paid promotion? I don't know. All right, let's listen to this morning chat and then we'll finish it out. He tried to kill an egg on a plate. He's like, oh, there was the one about the time going by. This is interesting. Okay, because he's talking to... All right, Tim, I got to put you at 1.5. And if you hear snoring, that's the dogs next to me. All right, Tim. Take it away, Timmy!
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Sarasota Tim, out crushing it, living my life. My daughter says, Dad, don't make YouTube a prison job. Just live your life and let YouTube follow you. Don't chase YouTube. And you know what? We all get caught up in things, and she's absolutely right. Now, I don't mind turning the camera on when I'm talking about something or driving and going to show you guys. And I actually have something to show you. I've got my e-bike that I love, by the way. I'm going to sell it.
Yeah, but the one thing that Tim couldn't show us was the drive to the Tampa airport to pick up the Goldwing purchaser, which makes me wonder, was it actually purchased at or sold to a dealership or something? Oh, there'd be a paper trail on that. Everything's got a paper trail. So Tim doesn't realize that. When everything can get a subpoena and you think you can run and hide, Tim, but I'm getting my $5,000. It could take me months, but hey, patience is a virtue. And I'm extremely virtuous.
And it still might be for sale, but not right now. I'm playing with it. I can't ride my dirt bike because I just choose not to. I don't know. There's nothing stopping me. But I can't ride it where I'm going to be going today.
You know,
up and down the sidewalks over Coquina and maybe all the way down. I might take it for a ride all the way down to Lido Beach. I'm going to really test the miles on this thing. This thing's supposed to get 100+ miles with pedaling assist. And I haven't charged it in 3 rides now. I haven't gone, 4 or 5 miles on each ride. So it should be fine. And I take the batteries out. They're behind me here and behind the seat. I got to put both batteries in to lighten it up when I put it on the back. But instead of using my trucker's hitch knot system with rope, I think the rope is a little bit too thick.
Yeah, this is payback, Tim, for all the women you think should be like servants to you. Maybe you shouldn't downgrade women to just objects that you have on your arm or something that serves you a sandwich. Because this woman's going to take you to task like no woman before. I wonder what your daughter has to say about this one. Because she don't control anything here in Virginia. So I hope Teddy and Jolene have got some, I bet you wouldn't, even if you showed up with an attorney, Tim, you would still lose this case.
I just have my regular ratchet straps. Man, that thing is solid. It isn't going anywhere back there. But I have an e-bike rack coming for a review. It goes right in my trailer hitch. And so I'm really excited about that. It's kind of heavy duty.
Tammy doesn't give Tim a dime. That's just a rumor started by no evidence, by people who just like to yap their that's just for fun and giggles. But we have no receipts of that ever happening. That's just talk. But when I show her receipts, that's just gossip, which is fun, but it's not true necessarily.
It is heavy duty, and I'll be able to put the bike on that with the batteries on it and everything much easier and go than this system here. So when that comes, we'll be building it and trying it out. And if that makes it even more convenient, because it took me a few minutes, and I got to use a ramp to push it up on the back of the truck because it's kind of heavy, and I just don't want to pull a nut, break my back or pull something lifting that darn thing up on this 38-inch height that I have on my tailgate. It's a tall one. She's a big girl. 8:11 a.m., 27 February. Look at where the year's going. Already 2 months, bam, out of the game. before I know it, every day now at 67, each day,
Oh yeah.
three things happen. One, it's noon
Oh,
before
yeah.
I know it. Okay, I gotta turn the circuit.
Tim rolls around like just the biggest fake create in America. He's never done anything except take from this country, including from the taxpayers. So it's all, there's nothing he could go run and hide in Utah, but everything he has, taxes, everything is registered in Florida. It's going to be very hard for him to change his residency in time for me to get this over to the court, but it would still go to Florida because all of the things that he did with his EIDL were committed in Florida. I mean, he would then never, he just can't run and hide from this at all times. It's that's a fallacy that's shown on TV. It's not the reality that people are going to encounter. So all the people that have tried to downplay in my chat, as I said, that's fine. You do you with that, as Tim would say. But I actually know what is the seriousness and the outcomes in these sort of things. And maybe for most Americans, it's a small amount of money, but it's the exact amount of which I did not need to spend on attorneys. And what it has done is opened a door for me to finally find a way to certify that UCC filing in a court here in Virginia, to get it timestamped, to show that I'm the whistleblower for this particular fraud that he committed against the American taxpayer, and hopefully for us to recuperate our monies. And if it works out well and I get this done properly, maybe by good luck, the government decides that I'm worthy of getting that whistleblower money, and Tim can help me pay off some of my student loan debt. What about that? Wouldn't that be nice? Because it's not going to be from this YouTube channel, guys. I can tell you that much, unless you hit likes more.
It's getting too cold. Two, I don't want to go anywhere because it's around 5 o'clock rush hour, and it's just like Atlanta now. Not really, but it's bad. And you don't want to go to the beach or to the store or the gym or any dang where, because you just worry about getting out there with all those people getting out of prison, going home. So,
well, Carl isn't a very good attorney, obviously, but Carl was an ambulance chaser. He did bankruptcies and personal injury. He shut his door and stiffed a client out of $700. So I don't really have a lot to say about Carl's legal expertise at this point.
You come home, and the next thing you know, because the time hasn't changed, it's black outside.
My feelings.
And then, because I get up early, it's time for bed. And so every time I blink, it's noon, 5, bedtime. And then you wake up at 4 or 5, you start drinking coffee, and then it's noon, 5, bedtime. It's just, and then it's Friday again for the 4th time this week. But it literally is Friday today. So the weeks, the days, the hours are just, the calendar's just ripping off. It's going to be March 1st.
I promise you, the fact that I am a registered nurse, I have years with an unencumbered license at the moment, is going to put me in very good standing in front of these judges. I obviously have years of, and I am a mandated court reporter. So obviously, for abuse and all these different things. So, and I currently work in my field. So my professionalism is actually something that's very important heading into this. And it obviously enables me to have the ability to put together huge amounts of paperwork without a care in the world. I find that stuff fun. This is the stuff I enjoy, I promise you. I enjoy this sort of stuff. I love taking people to task. And I'm going to enjoy taking Tim, because I feel like this has been a long time in the making. And it's on behalf of many a channel and individual in this community who has been slighted by this guy.
I mean, people that are young that think that time is dragging, or when you're at your prison job and it takes forever for 5 o'clock to come, I get it. You're in school, you're waiting for the bell to ring to get out. I get it. I remember. But just remember this, folks. If you're young still, 30s, 40s, and you're watching me, don't rush it, because it's coming hard and fast. I mean, it will be here, and then boom, you'll look in the mirror and say, what happened? Where did time go? Yesterday I was, riding my 10-speed and surfing waves at Lake Worth Pier. It's like the Bible says, we're here for just a moment. We're like a mist that's here and then vaporizes, like a fog. Your whole life, 70, 80 years, 20 of.
The story was that there was a potential hotel discount, and if there was a military discount, and Tim said something about the fact that he would say he had been in the military to get a discount. So he would steal valor to save money. We don't know if he actually has, but he made reference. There is a video somewhere out there. Somebody's made a video about it. That's part of the Timmy lore.
Is growing up, 20 of them are dying because when you're 60, you're on the downhill side. When you're 70, you know, you can still be active. There's Jack LaLanne's out there. But a lot of people at that age, they got health issues. They're just falling apart and they're just sitting around doing nothing, just waiting, just getting bigger, larger, sicker, you know, whatever. You've got between 21 years old and 60.
Yeah.
And then you've got that last window when between 55 and 65 that you can crush it. You got some money, you got out of the prison job, you got a free check coming in called Social Security, you got some other money saved or a pension, or you got a side hustle going on, you're getting your health, you're finally waking up, hey man, I need to lose some weight, I need to quit this ice cream, I need to...
Tim just trying to talk like he's just coming out with the same garbage. I'm just going to say that garbage that a 20-year-old influencer would come out with. One of these folks that has zero expertise in anything. Tim has no business. I mean, if he wants to say, oh, I enjoy in the morning, but he talks from a place where he is trying to give expert advice almost to his audience. It's beyond motivation and encouragement at this point. And if these people want to, you know, follow this freeloader, because Tim's a freeloader. He's basically been just a freeloader his whole life. And he freeloads on YouTube because YouTube's the easiest money he's ever seen. Doing these reviews and selling those products. I'd love to see his taxes. I am going for his taxes because I like to see, how much he writes off on his YouTube channel. Tim.
Throw these cigarettes down. Enough of this alcohol. That's for when you're young and going to college, maybe. I'm a mature person now. I don't need to be drinking and, you know, soaking my gizzards and my liver in alcohol. I need to be thinking about things above and a positive outlook and having fun, doing what I want to do, whether it be riding motorcycles, planting a garden, sitting on the beach.
Having fun and doing what I want to do. Does that include taking close to $100,000 in fraudulent ways from American taxpayers? And from your fellow citizens in Florida? I mean, because that's where the unemployment insurance comes from. And then topped by federal. But it's coming out of your state. It was PPP or the unemployment insurance, Tim. Not both. Could not do both. And you took both. And then you took an EIDL. You're all over the place. You really got yourself in a pickle, Tim. I do me. I just want to have fun. All right, Tim.
Working on your tan, taking walks every day, joining a group, social groups, and meeting new friends and doing hobbies, hiking, anything that, you know, you can put childish things away and start acting like a man or a woman.
Childish things away. Tim, you've done the most childish stuff recently. It's not even funny. He's just so full of it. I wish he would show up to court. Like I said, his attorney would not have a very good time. Tim too cheap to pay for that type of attorney. Because they're going to really have to start coming through his paperwork. Because I've shown everything. I even made sure he got a copy of the UCC filing and the papers that were served to him. Oh, and I know everyone wanted to downplay me about this. Because that's what happens. You know, when people are misjudged. You know, the whole reason why we started talking about Tim was because we wanted to see some type of justice on him getting this money paid back. Well, I finally figured out a way to do it. So, probably if you just let me, you know, do my dumb commentary and stuff and didn't keep striking my channel, probably we wouldn't be at this place. But he was the one who chose the violence from the beginning. He's the one who decided to make fake copyright removal requests and just do a bunch of shenanigans. And now he's going to pay for the shenanigans. That's it. I'm done. And I don't play.
ass man, a grown ass woman. You know, it's taking you this long to figure it out. Not everybody, but some it does. But it's never too late. And the day you wake up and you start remembering and thinking about it and start thinking about these things and doing them, remember half the battle.
I have, and I always appreciate the free advertising. Don't you worry. Me appearing to be more hardcore about stuff actually might bring some people to my channel, which it has actually. So thank you to all the new subs and people that are enjoying actually people. Maybe you could actually, some small creators will have an opportunity to learn from myself, another small creator, about how to navigate with these types of con artists who try to strike people down and try to get real aggressive. Sometimes you have to fight it back. You can't just lay down and let these people just keep stomping on you. And one thing that Tim underestimated about me was, one, I'm persistent. Two, I'm going to get the stuff done. Three, how much this community supported me. Because without you guys, and I'm going to be honest, I'm sorry I'm off camera. It's been a long day. I just want to thank you all, because it was the support and just the really that sort of just, that kept me going. Because I've said in the past, times got hard, and expensive. When you're looking at close to $5,000 that went out, and there was community contributions, but I can promise you, it ate up all my earnings from YouTube. Spent to try to protect this channel, because I think this channel can grow into us doing some really amazing things, catching scammers on the internet. And there's so many of these people. There's so many people. I heard one guy recently that's an influencer who had a lot of sort of facial reconstruction and had said, and he had been in the military, but he kind of stole valor because he said it was from an IED explosion to the face. And in reality, it was because the guy got drunk one night when he was, out of the country in a different military base, elsewhere on the globe. And he got, he was young, he got drunk, and he fell and he smashed his face open. That's how he ended up messing up his face. Not because he was in active, combat at the time with an IED going off. So it's just stuff like that. Just people just lying all the time. And Tim just lied completely about how he obtained his retirement, and of which he ended up making huge sums of money with that viral video. Without all of those assets that he had obtained through the PPP and the EIDL, he wouldn't have looked as set up to have given that Social Security advice video. So he's got to come to an end. Okay. But he won't. He'll keep spitting out the videos. It's fine by me, because I want him to keep producing stuff, because I want to garnish his money. So why I'm not going to want him to come off YouTube anytime soon, because I need to garnish my money from him, obviously. Anyone don't think? All right, Tim, let's finish out this last one, mate. It's a morning chat. Tim's really, we'll just take it. I mean,
Well, I heated it up good. It was already still warm in there.
Whatever.
Well, I got a shower.
I'm
I turned it
drinking
off.
microwave coffee.
This is McDonald's coffee they gave me with my heavy whipping cream, freshly made this morning, and I just reheated in the microwave in my ceramic cup. Folks, that's definitely McDonald's McCaffey, baby. That's the best cup of coffee I've ever drank in my life. Man, that's good coffee. Yeah, my third cup. I'm already all hopped up. All right, today is the first day of the rest of your life. Now, we've all heard that we're at war, and we got the generals and the president and all the other countries involved.
Oh,
and the think tanks.
no, Tim. This is Tim and his... if you could only see my face, I think it would say it all.
And there's always a reason, a means to an end as to why this came on. Either it's under Almighty, well, everything's under Almighty God's hand, so he will see it through. We will be fine. Not to worry. Don't be anxious. And we'll see what happens.
Yes.
But I couldn't help but hear about it on YouTube, and then I sneaked over there for a minute. Oh, my gosh. I found it revolting. I put on that Fox News, and I put on that CNN. It's been so long since I even looked at those channels. Some of those anchors have aged.
Hey, just hit the likes. so that people can find me. You guys are doing great. I've actually started to get subscribers again because a lot of people wanted to call me names recently because somebody, and I want to say it was Lovescape who really, I want to say, let me get over and make sure that I saw you in here, Lovescape, earlier, that asked the question. I believe it was you who asked the question, or I want to say that was who asked the question, or was it Love Them Flowers? One of you two. I know it started with love. Asked Carl about what were they going to do about Tim, and Carl had said, well, nothing. I'm not going to take him to court, because he was going to take him to court. That was, and he was talking about getting him to jail and stuff. I'm not even talking about Tim going to jail. I'm just talking about Tim returning the monies back to us. Now, not to say he can't get prosecuted for wire fraud in this. Because he would, but I just, yes, that's right. There we are. Yes, that's what I said. Thank you. I'm glad you popped in. Because it was really the fact that you decided to ask Cole that question and he took an attitude with you. And then I said, well, what is he doing about this? He's totally changed his tune. And then he decided that he was going to call me out. And then a bunch of these other male creators who are supposedly part of this Tim, truth teller community or whatever, all decided that they wanted to say, and they always want to say things that I shouldn't talk about health, even though I have, close to 20 or close to 15 years in, healthcare, or over 15 years. Oh, thank you, Thomas, for gifting so many wonderful Life and Vibe memberships. Let me see who won. Nazi Baruka, Justine 8387, Mary the Scotsman. Oh, I remember that. Daniel Day and Sophia Marin Molina. Thank you guys for gifting those. It seems like a lot of my people from my Foodieverse days. Thank you. That was really nice. That was so nice. Carl should be ashamed to say that Ray talks about every little thing Tim does. He comments on Tim too. What is he talking about? Carl was upset was taking it too far. No way. Yeah, he was upset. He felt that I was taking it too far. Is he Tim's new best friend? Well, I mean, why does he get to say what's too far? Why is me going $5,000 out of pocket to protect my channel because of Tim being somebody who doesn't like criticism, and I'm just doing what commentary channels do, is me taking it too far? I don't think they have a right to tell me what too far is in regards to Tim and me getting my monies back. And the fact that I've been able to use a long arm statute, and now I get to send the stuff over to the attorney's office in Florida for the EIDL, because now I figured out how to do all this, because now I'm going to timestamp that UCC filing and be able to use that court here, even though it's a small claims. And I know people will be like, oh, well, it doesn't matter. It's about getting it into the courtroom, getting it submitted as evidence, timestamping that as me being the person who has gone into court and who's tried to whistleblow this thing. So that's basically what I'm going to be doing. It's not right, Ray. Carl, something is not right with people who are against you protecting yourself. Yeah, or watching Tim actually have to pay the money back to the taxpayers. Because these guys just want to watch Tim and joke around. They're not actually interested in Tim getting any, they don't care if Tim gets the EIDL. They don't care. They don't think it's possible. They don't care. They just think it's fun watching Timmy run around. But it's funny that ever since that I've, started to take this court process, everybody has been making videos about what I'm doing, taking Tim to court. And they're monetized. So they're making money off of me. That's fine. They'll send people my way. But they're a bunch of hypocrites. Oh, yeah, I don't buy it either, Grandma's pocketbook. It's lazy. I'm having fun with Tim myself, you know. Having Tim have to show up in court, I promise you, is way more fun than what they're doing.
And
because I got Tim over a
channels,
barrel.
not Fox. Fox keeps trading them in. They keep those models coming in. They got that glamour shots going on. But still, some of them people in there, I mean, they're saying, it was just like, it's the same spin. It's the same tone. It's the same written spiel. Every story. It's just like they're...
It seems to me that somebody who says that they're an attorney, I hope he doesn't have a license anymore, because he certainly doesn't practice the law. I'm more likely to practice the law than he is. Sad.
Loving it that there's some kind of catastrophe or some kind of major thing, so you'll watch them and then they throw those commercials on. I just got rid of it. I just turned it off. It was making me sick. Not the story itself.
Oh, and I saw a bunch of comments. People like, oh yeah, Ray just thinks she's this, that, and the other, and oh, she's just too big for her boots as a registered nurse, and just a bunch of people being alls. You know, I know who you are. I don't care. People are always alls, but it's funny, you know. It's funny to see that people, you know, the community used to actually want to see Tim get some justice. And then it got this like toxic group of like mediocre dudes who have like the most dire content I can imagine. And then they want to, you know, New York Dan wants to say stuff about my content. That dude sits there for an hour and makes stuff up. I mean, how lame is that?
Just how they want to spin it, and they're talking about Tucker Carlson and what he said, she said. Nothing to even do with the facts of what's going on.
That would be nice.
It's all about generating all kinds of other stories within a story. You ever notice that? How people do that in social media? They take a simple video and they create all this.
Well, Carl supposedly shut his doors owing a client $700, and that was posted in 2024. And he wants to call me names because I pointed that out. Go call me names. I don't care. Those guys are really, you know, the whole group of them, you know, they always love to downplay my professionalism, say I don't have rights to talk around topics around health. Are you serious? Like they have, and in what universe do they have the ability to decide that what is my ability to talk about health, considering I'm the only one licensed as a health professional? They're not even licensed as health professionals, yet they seem to think that they can say, I don't have a right. No, it's just a bunch of guys being guys. You know, it's just the misogyny that's so apparent in our generations. And I just don't deal with it. And I've had, I feel like a lifetime of having these people call me like the B word. And I'm okay with that. And that's the problem, is that I don't mind, because I just know it's shows how, you know, impotent they are.
Other nonsense.
That's all I'm going to say.
Nothing to do with the topic. That's just what they do. They learn from the best. Okay, it's a think tank that they go in, and they use AI today. They're like, okay, somebody makes a video, and then they plug in AI.
Yeah.
All right, this guy made a video. Or this is the news about what's going on. Give me talking points that will spin it completely evil, and how this person's terrible, and the whole thing is wrong, and all that. And then AI will just give you whatever you ask, and then they make it, and then they say it. And I'm telling you, I think these writers on Fox News and CNN, I think that's exactly how they get their material. They don't rely on people to think about it anymore. They're not as smart as AI. AI can give you the most hate you ever wanted in your life. They give you the best hate. They give you all the juicy parts.
Oh, Tim, there's so much evidence that AI, you know, that's, you know, part of the reason why I've, you know, found things through AI, but I go and make sure I look at these statutes and to ensure, and the actual, like, you know, on a website that is showing the regulations, and to make sure, like when I was looking at the long arm statutes and all of this, I made sure to go to the appropriate, because I'm used to reading stuff about statutes, because I need this as part of my professional nursing practice. When I've been taking my master's, we talk a lot about nursing policy and around the statutes that we are to adhere to and follow. So I'm very familiar with this. And the type of language, because I've had to read so much when I've had to work through, you know, what is covered within my licensure here, both when I was looking within nurse practice and, you know, at an advanced practice level and so forth. So you become familiarized with this type of documentation. Not just spitting words, Tim.
Ignore it, folks. Ignore it. Just go about your day today. present your worries and concerns to the man upstairs. And
Yeah,
go
I know
about your
you
business.
always
That's
do.
what you need to do. Don't be concerned. Man, I used to get my panties in a wad and think about it. And I would sit there, something big like this would happen. And that's it. I'm not leaving. I'm going to sit right there. I'm going to just watch every minute all day long. I did that during when we attacked Kuwait. It was, what was that called? Ultimate Scare, Earth Shaking, Wake and Bake, or something like that. They have these names that they even create. Oh, my God. I sat and watched that. Those were my days of political.
Tim, you had no days of political. This guy just was getting drunk and sand railing. Just don't listen to him. Let's listen to Tim lie.
Really into it. And
20 minutes of
that was
lies.
really good, right? Yeah, I'm guilty. I watched it. But, man, I turned it on yesterday. I found it revolting. It's like, ugh. Give me back to my YouTube where I can watch about how to change a tire on my dirt bike, riding out in Moab, going to the beach, just living life, That's just, once you start filling your mind with happiness and joy and fun stuff and realizing your life is your life and that your life isn't dependent upon what's going on out there, for the most part. Yes.
What?
You don't have to spend more money if they raise prices.
What? Oh my gosh. See, Tim doesn't think that anything affects him. Nothing affects Tim. Tim lives in his own little bubble. Well, Tim, you're about to be affected, mate. And I like to see how chirpy he comes on. And guess what he hasn't been able to do, which I know is killing him. Guess what? I haven't had any channel strikes. I wonder if he, because I think he's realized he better not do that. Oh, Tim, you're going to get yourself in a pickle.
It'll affect you in certain ways, your bills, this and that. But you don't have to give attention to any of the other noise out there. Just tune it out. Turn it off. God, horrible. All right, we got that out of the way. That's my encouragement for you. It's going to be 70.
Great. Yeah, let's all be as ignorant as Tim. And I don't think people should obsess. And I think that people should take a look at all types of news sources from a variety of political leanings, whether they annoy you or not. Sometimes I read from political a lot, and obviously, it's interesting to see the biases in the headlines. But I don't know if Tim has the nuance of thought to see bias in a headline. I know where I stand, but I can see biases, both sides of the politics, You have to look at the language and stuff, Tim. Tim's not smart enough for that.
9 degrees today. That means it's going to be 80 degrees. I am dressed in short pants, and I think I'm going to ride the KLX today, or maybe I just want to ride the e-bike. I'm expecting my e-bike carrier to come, which I can build very quickly. And
let's
have a review on it. The TST R9 e-bike, my agreement with the company that sent that to me was to stagger some videos. Either they were ramping up production for that new 2026 with the dual batteries and they want to have them in stock, or whatever the reason they have asked me to stagger my videos. So you might see one now that I did make earlier, but I didn't make it public. And so I've been doing a lot of writing on it.
So we're going to get some staggered videos. Tim, I wonder how the people that you do reviews for would feel knowing that they've been working with somebody who's a fraudster. I mean, I don't think these companies really would like to align their companies with you, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt that they don't know that you just steal money from the government. Look at that face. Yeah. Bring that face to court, Tim.
Studying it, and I have presented in present videos. They weren't necessarily a review on it, just enjoying it. And I have many videos that will be being released over the next few weeks. I'm not going to release them all in one day, but there is a new one out. And I'm telling you, man, I was going to sell it. And I still might, but now with this bike rack coming and making it really easy to take around and enjoy, I've had so many of them that I've decided that, the last one I had was pretty good, but I had 2 motorcycles and all this, and I don't need it. And I kind of missed it. And then they sent me one just like it, but it's got the yellow wheels and it's got dual battery. So that one, I'm glad I got rid of it because now I've got even a better one that goes 100 miles. I haven't even charged.
Well, how did you get rid of it, Tim? Did you sell it? Well, that's good. I think we did have a listing for that one. I know I got some listing for it because Tim did a massive price drop on all of his stuff recently. I might have to save that one for the next live, Mark. We might not have time for that one tonight, but Tar Heels was kind enough to let me see how much Tim has been dropping the prices. Tim's really been dropping the prices of everything on Facebook. For a man who doesn't usually like to drop a price, he is like fire selling whatever he has. And that's great because I have all this evidence of all this money that Tim's putting in his pocket that I can show the judge to show that he has ample financial resources to pay my little petty small claims of $5,000, which, you know, Tim having to fork over $5,000 to me of all people is going to kill him. For people who just want to talk about petty amounts, it's the fact that if Tim has to lose to me, and I'm going to promise you, I'll garnish that money. I'm very good at paperwork.
That thing. I just keep taking it out and riding it. It's not going to die. And if it does, guess what? It's got pedals. I can pedal it back to my truck. But I'll tell you this. They're a lot of fun to have. The way to get around and explore.
Yeah.
You can go on the beach with them in the sand, through trails.
Yes,
watch your tire pressure.
You got a whole
make sure you don't get a flat tire. Carry a tire pump, a little battery operated one like I carry, your backpack and everything. And just get out and enjoy. There's so many of those. You see them everywhere now. I remember when I bought one, I paid $2,300 of my own money here in Sarasota for one. A guy was riding at Nathan Venison Park, and he let me ride it. I could not believe the sensation of it pulling. It's kind of like driving an electric vehicle. It's a different sensation. And then now I've learned through riding them that
I know we got another tour of the Flagstaff, the greatest RV ever. Well, good, Tim. Keep touring the Flagstaff. Was that the YouTube money or the EIDL money? Don't worry. We'll figure out which assets you showed off depending on what timeline you took some debt out. Because it's going to be fun, Tim. I promise you. I can't wait to put that package together. I can't. I'm looking forward to April the 10th. I think it might be Good Friday. I need to double check.
Low power mode, like Pedal Assist 2 and 1, are really very nice. Instead of needing 3, 4, and 5. Obviously, you're going to get a lot more battery life out of it, and you're going along fine. You're not having to really pedal and get much exercise, but it's moving you at a...
No, April the 3rd is Good Friday. So it's a week after Good Friday. So it's right after Easter. Oh, Tim, I feel like an Easter miracles are going to be happening in the courthouse in Virginia Beach. For me, not for you. I've already brought it to Virginia and with a long arm statue. So that's already blown people who think that I needed to be in Florida for this because he's the defendant. No, you don't. Depends on what the case is. And this is tortious injury.
Pace that's just enjoyable. And anyway, get yourself one. There's links in the description, and I pin it in the comments for the TST R9, the 2026 dual battery. Don't be confused about the other models we're selling for $679. You can't buy this one for that. This one's $1,000 on sale, I think, which is pretty good considering they're like $1,400, $1,500 bicycles. And I think if you get these ones that are actually made in the U.S., which look like these big, heavy ones, I see them on YouTube. They're a little bit too big. I don't like those. I like this little moped style. It's easy to put on the rack. It's not light. I think it weighs like 60 to 80 pounds with the two batteries.
Well,
but with the fat tire thing and
well, at this point, I haven't needed an attorney. This has all been through my legal research that I've taken the small claims to this point. The attorneys were when I was responding to Tim's copyright strikes and having to do counter notifications explaining clearly the fair use process that I had. Because when you counter notify with YouTube, you do have to use very specific language or they will kick the counter notification back. It's not just a done deal when you submit the counter notification that YouTube will accept it and send it forward to the person requesting the copyright removal. You do have to put things in certain language. So I did hire a copyright attorney at the time to help me navigate through this counter notification process and to get the correct language together. And they initially notified YouTube about my video takedowns. And they did that for a couple of videos. And then they also sent Tim a cease and desist, asking him, one, to stop striking my channel frivolously when he had never taken any actual legal action with copyright or actually has any of his material copyrighted, because you can't just say this is copyrighted without it actually having a legal copyright. So none of his stuff is actually copyrighted. Just because he filmed it and stuck it up on a YouTube channel doesn't mean necessarily he has per se copyright. But you can also do what I do, which is use things within fair use, which is obviously we have Tim's video, but I'm not just playing the video and not putting commentary or adding my own thoughts to anything. And so that's what falls under fair use. And then Tim is obviously unhappy with that because he doesn't like people criticizing him, and he especially didn't like people calling out his loans and the fraud he committed. He gets real angry, but he doesn't do the hater videos like he used to. He's kind of calmed down on a lot of that stuff because people have probably told him he needs to stop doing that. Well, he's already buried himself so far. I've got so many videos of him telling everyone that we're all haters and this, that, and the other. I mean, it's so loaded. Submit some of that into the attorney's office. I mean, he has so much where he shows that he's literally trying to take people down for criticizing him on this stuff.
It's not such a big frame.
He's a doofus.
I like him better.
My best.
And of course, those real junky ones that are real tiny that run out of battery in about 15 minutes that you buy at Walmart or somewhere. I see them riding around.
The one that's snoring right next to the microphone is Roscoe. You might hear some real. If you heard that story, that's my dog.
People buy what they can afford, right? But this TST
is
got headquarters in California. It's a Chinese company, but they have a headquarters for distribution and customer service and parts and things like that in California. And they will give you the warranty, and they'll answer the phone, and they'll help you out. So if you're interested in one, look at my recent video I just uploaded.
Yeah, okay. This is Junebug snoring. Oh, Junebug. If you heard that, that was Junebug. Roscoe's got his head on my lap.
They actually contacted me and said some of you were asking questions in my riding around the mall with it, and was asking me if I would please put the description and a discount link. There's a discount link in there if you use, I think it's Tim 100 or something. They asked me to put that in the comments, pin it in the comments, and in the description. So I did that. So I'm doing what they wanted me to do. They're doing what I expected them to do, and now you can do what you want to do. But they're a blast. They really are. It's fun, and why get out there and break your neck? If you want to buy a $5,000 or $10,000 road bike, and about $2,000 worth of shorts and shirts and $500 bike shoes, and you want to get out there and ride 50 or 100 miles on the weekends, and stay in shape and join races and marathons, go for it. Thousands and thousands of people do exactly that, and I've got a couple subscribers that do that, and that's great. But if you like,
for goodness sake, Tim, you just spent a bunch of money on a dirt bike. Tim is so wild. He looks very red-faced. Keep drinking that coffee, Tim. Keep taking out your kidneys, mate.
Adventure and tooling around, taking the trails, like the Legacy Trail we have here in Sarasota, cruising on these unpatrolled beaches that don't have lifeguards on them, it's not a public area. The sand area all around we have in Florida. You got to be careful, I would think, in the other regions of the country where there's lots of hills, because it's an e-bike. It's a battery. So pulling a grade, as we all know, that's not going to be as easy as flat. And so that will take a lot of the power out. And if you don't have, a good motor and a lot of power, be careful with that. So even riding the streets and stuff, these people are out in California, whatever, if you're in a hilly area, some small ones are okay, but I don't know about these big tall hills. Here, it's great. Down here in Florida, it's great. And another thing, like I mentioned, you get one, you take it off your bike rack or out of the back of your truck or your SUV. You go down to Fort Lauderdale where they charge you an arm and leg to park. Just park it at a Publix grocery store or something somewhere.
Great. Yeah. Just hit up because like the grocery stores in Virginia Beach don't get upset at all when, the tourists want to just, use up their parking lot to park to go down to the beach. Tim, you can't be telling people to use a store's parking lot. Stores hate that stuff. I promise you, they'll tell you. And courthouse in Virginia Beach, Tim, has free parking. And right next to the steps, too. You just can't bring your phone inside, so that will kill you.
Public parking lot about a mile away, and then just get on the sidewalk and ride over to the beach with your backpack, your beach chair, whatever you need, your suntan lotion, and just cruise up and down and go through all the people. And
no, you don't do that.
Even if it's reasonable, sometimes there isn't any parking, or you got to park way far away and carry all your stuff. So they're really cool. Take it down to the Keys with you. Run up and down Duval Street or Marathon and stuff. See the sights. Get around. Hit those side streets. Walking is great. Walk, road bikes, running, going to the gym. All those things. I'm not saying you should ignore.
Yeah. Find free parking at a business's parking for its customers, and you park your ass there, and then go off on your e-scooter all morning. Because publics don't care.
Bike is another new dynamic that is growing like wildfire. I mean, it is spreading like wildfire. Everybody's got an e-bike, and they all got that one like I have, that moped style.
I know.
All right. I get nothing, by the way, out of these things. So they gave me the bike. That's it. The end. That's good. That's enough.
You get nothing out of these things? Oh, what, the links? Well, you certainly get something out of the bike, Tim, because you're going to sell the bike on Facebook Marketplace. And then you're going to pocket the money for the bike. So Tim loves getting these e-bike reviews because his says it's for $700 or $800. So that's almost a good portion of what he hopes just to make from his YouTube channel to supplement his Social Security. So he doesn't care if these bikes sell or not. It's sad that these people can't see that, even though he has 67,000 subs, he gets like 2,000 views. So they would just stop giving him shit to review, pardon my French. But it's just a way for Tim to pocket cash. So all of this stuff, it's just cash in Tim's pocket. And it's not jealousy. It's just like, I don't know if he actually files this on his taxes. So, a bunch of blokes might be like, oh, great. Tim just never cares. He just don't pay taxes. No, you know what? The rest of us do. And Tim is the first person to have socialism for me and not for thee, and to want to get his government handouts that he supposedly worked his entire life for, though he said he paid as little taxes as possible. So I can't wait to subpoena Tim's income records.
So I filled up the crusher yesterday at BJ's Wholesale, and I saw $2.60 for gas. I've been paying like $2.36, $2.45. So I guess oil spiked with this, war we got going on. They do. Here. Who knows what people are paying out in California, different places where oil and gasoline cost more money. That sucks. But anyway, today we're going to grill out again. Another fun day around the RV park. Living life, retired. I've got a. I took out one of these New York strips.
Doesn't that sound exciting? Burning the flesh of an animal in an RV park. Just living life to the fullest.
You can speak. These were good before. And I do like these better than I do the ribeye, I think. It's in those sealed containers instead of the styrofoam with the saran wrap over it. I used to not like these, but after I've eaten a couple of them, they're amazing. And this one was $11.37. And in today's time, that's like a good deal. I've got my my eggs in there. I won't lie to you guys. We give it to you straight here. I gained weight. I went over to Rafaela's birthday. It wasn't the pie. I had some, but it was very little, but it didn't help. But she made a homemade pizza, and they know I'm a big eater. She backed off because she knew that dessert was there, and she doesn't eat like I do.
I'm not jealous of, Tim's subscriber count doesn't really matter. It actually makes his channel look bad. I'd rather have my subscriber count to my views because my analytics look way better. And my channel's new. It takes a while for sometimes people's channels to come up on YouTube. You got to do something like worth it for your audience and commentary world. Hopefully with us, we're going to have a lot of fun over the next few months, especially with the members only and going through all the stuff we're going to do to get Tim to actually see some consequences for his behaviors in life. Because this guy's gotten away with way too much stuff for way too long. And on this platform, being malicious to other creators. You can't do that. It's not cool. I don't like bullies.
And then Fred, he's a big eater, but he was just so generous that he backed off a slice or two that he could put down easily. And he let me eat them. And what they let me do?
Yeah,
well,
I can't.
If you put it in front of a dog, what's he going to do? He's going to eat it. So I had like 4 slices of pizza. You know, they weren't the kind when you go to the pizza place and they give you one like this. They were, you know,
apple.
But I ate 4 of them. And what was it? Bread. Bread and me, you might as well just tape it right to my stomach.
He says he has apples and the occasional salad. No, Tim is terrible.
I mean,
but he
it's
thinks
not the
it's
next
called
day,
the
it's the
gift
day
for the,
after, and the day after, and the day after, before it starts to go away if I get back on my plan. I just keep growing. So this morning I weighed in, I think I'm like 198. I was down to 194. So 3-4 pounds and in the pie. So I'm naturally, you know, drawing a line in the sand, getting real serious, and go out and walk today, ride the bike.
Oh, yeah. The second that April 10th court case is completed, and, you know, I'm going to do a bunch of subpoenas. Oh, no, I send off that evidence package to the attorneys general in the Middle District Court of Florida. So it's going to go out by the end of April. If not before, you know, but at least probably by mid-April. Just sees how much time I've got because I got a bunch of stuff going on. But I like to get it done sooner rather than later because I need to pack up the Conde to sell it. Okay, keep going, Tim.
Don't eat. I do have
a lot going on.
Eating senior salad. Last night, I loved it. I made a huge. Look, I was at Walmart. I bought a big package of hamburger meat. I made 2 patties. I did that smack. I put it in the bag here, right? I actually balled it up in the bag, made it round, and then laid the bag down and smacked. Look at that big old hamburger. That was one of 2. And it's ready to go on the grill. The Q1200 is cooking, baby. It gets hot with that new propane bottle. So I got 2 of them in here. I didn't know it. There's another one. Look at the size of that baby, huh?
Hey, if I wouldn't be doing something, I guess, if I didn't have haters. The difference with Tim's haters is Tim had haters because Tim did, like, you know, bad stuff. I guess people consider me taking Tim to justice bad stuff, but I don't know how that works, especially since Carl supposedly was an attorney. It just seems, I know he doesn't want to get stuck in legal stuff, but why would he care if I take Tim to legal task? It's because these guys have fun thinking that they're puppeting Tim or something. I don't know. It's some weird stuff going on. I don't know. I don't really want to involve myself with these people. If they want to advertise me, that's fine. I'll take it. I don't care.
I like them. So I put that.
I'm okay with it.
A senior salad. I love these senior salads. It just makes a good meal for me.
Oh,
but tonight I'm having the New York strip and likely that senior salad.
He is strange.
I also have, to be good, I got 2 cans of tuna.
Yeah, I would agree. I agree.
I haven't eaten. It's been in there a while. And I know it's not part of it. Bought myself another bag of Galos. So when I get really hungry at night, instead of coming in here, I got off the cheese. I was buying cheese like crazy. I haven't bought cheese in a while. I just grabbed me one of these babies. Throw that down. You know, sometimes you just don't have any control. Your mind is like, I gotta eat something. I'm starving. If I don't eat something right now, I'm gonna
promise you. This guys, that was like a diet for a cardiac event.
Die.
Yeah, you're gonna die.
So put an apple down. Yeah, that's sugar. Yeah, whatever. Better than a damn Milky Way, right? Folks, that is good coffee. So living solo, living in this RV every night, you know, when it gets dark and I cook out on the grill, it's fun. Every morning when I wake up, I come out here. It's always like Christmas morning. Like, look what you got. This is really nice, you know? I have an excellent shower. I have an excellent sink and counter.
But through his EIDL loan and his YouTube earnings brought by bragging about stuff that he had gotten through some illegal loans. Glad you like it, Tim. You might be having to sell it. I promise you, the attorney's office in your district, Tim, is very feisty with this stuff.
Space and everything in these cabinets to do what I need to do.
In a better
TV that
district.
has every channel I could possibly want to watch, and a lot of them I don't through my hotspot on my phone. I've got an amazing reclining chair, another one I don't even use, that I sit there. I put a towel on it to protect it. I have air conditioning, I have furnace, I have heat, I have a fireplace, I have a space heater, I have everything I need to be comfortable. I have refrigeration, I have food. I've got excellent transportation. I've got a storage place right outside here with lockable space to put everything I want to put in there that I can't just carry in here or leave out on the outside the door. I mean, it's really a very nice minimalist setup. 25 feet of pure luxury, an amazing tow vehicle so they can drag this baby to front wheels. Anywhere in the United States of America I want to go. Anywhere.
Knock it in.
Snow, ice, well, not ice, but snow, sand, dirt. It doesn't matter.
Somehow, Rich Runner, Tim snuck it in as another tour of the Flagstaff. So I had to share this as a react. It's like,
drive.
I just saw my face.
And
I'm like,
I also have an amazing toy, the KLX 300, that I can either, I'm really contemplating mounting that on the front end of that truck, putting a trailer hitch up there and putting my thing I already own in the front. I'm really thinking about it. I'm really trying to get over the fact about, I don't like to drive at night anyway, so I'm not worried about the headlights being obstructed. And they're not completely obstructed, but they could be. And I'm trying to, not concern myself too much about airflow coming in.
Oh, yeah.
The UCC filing. That is my biggest concern, because if I were to be towing in warm weather during the day and only going to drive during the day and pulling 8,000 pounds.
Oh, you
it's something to worry
about.
Okay. Or I can figure out a way to put it on the very back of the truck. But I would like to find out a way that I can travel and not just have fun with this camper and wake up and have everything I just said a moment ago, but also a little toy right outside the door, like that dirt bike that's street legal, that I can ride down the road perfectly legal to a trail and then just, get it. Start ripping out there with my knobby tires and everything. I've got all the riding equipment, the boots, the helmet. I mean, it just sounds like.
I was just in Chesapeake today. So I'm trying to decide to move to Chesapeake. I don't know. I might be over the border in Moyock. I keep looking at Moyock. I found a farm, like a house. I don't know. I want to go out and see it. It's like out in the country. No HOA on an acre. So nice.
A thing that I want to bring to fruition so bad. I'm going to. It's just that I was talking about taking that and the truck and leaving my camper here. I'd like to take my home. I would like to have, for the first time, boondock. I've got a generator and boondock for a little while before I go to a campground. Not stay out there boondocking, because you need water and all that stuff to be replenished. You got to dump your sewer and everything like that. But just think of the comfort versus a tent and showers and power to run air conditioning. And I mean, the generator run the air conditioning all day. As long as I got gasoline for the generator. So a lot of possibilities with the unique items that I have purchased, that the way I live my life with RV, dirt bike, and 4-wheel drive, heavy duty truck to tow it all.
I love the way he likes to point out that he's purchased. What did you do with the $58,400 in EIDL? Because you definitely were doing something with that before you boomed into your YouTube big earnings, Tim. So it's a decent amount of money, Tim, $58,400 just deposited in your account. That was a decent amount of money, sir. And he made sure to do that because he wasn't quite able to get his Social Security, and he was running out of money. Tim didn't want to get a job. He certainly didn't want to go back to, obviously, doing the oil change coupons, because he didn't return back to that business.
Completely different. You might want to just get a little tiny Honda Civic.
He's in trouble.
No camper trailer at all.
I don't care what the guys say.
A cottage,
say whatever they want. It's too late now.
Whatever, and go to the beach and just relax and live your life. Plant a garden. Join a book club. Whatever. Live your life, man. Just get out there and crush it and start doing what you want to do. Turn off that noise.
Yeah, I was looking at some property over there again. I keep looking down that way. They got less. The property tax is like half the amount here in Virginia. So, and they're, certain things that I can do. Obviously, I can, certain things with being a registered nurse, certain types of loans and stuff. I don't know. I'm looking at all this stuff too. It's been busy. Don't give me a dirty look, Junebug.
Don't listen to crap. God, is that so bad for you? I can't tell you. Listening to people try to fill your head. And guess what will happen? If you hang out in an outhouse long enough, you're going to. It's
because he doesn't want his subscribers to find out that he's going to court. And I know people want to say this is petty because he struck my channel. No, that's not petty stuff. What Tim did is actually really considered quite illegal. He misused a legal actual process in a corporation to try to silence another creator. And it's not cool. And somehow I'm supposed to just take this? You know what? I just think that that's not cool, man. Regular folks should always stand up for themselves. I'm not going to be bullied by somebody like Sarasota Tim. And he really has bullied me. He bullied Grandma's pocketbook. She knows that. Bullied a bunch of people. Dino. He's bullied all sorts of people because doing what he did without actually completing a proper legal copyright, action against me or any of the other creators. And for other people, they didn't want to reveal their name and addresses. And so Tim, used that to his advantage. Me, I don't care because I don't have family and stuff. So it's like, game on. Bring it to me. And all these people wanted to threaten me and my employer and all sorts of stuff. Like, I'm a bad person because of standing up to this guy. And I'm not going to take it anymore. Like, people who want to call me out for that, I mean, I just find that really sad because I think that reflects more on their character than it reflects on mine. But I promise you, you're going to keep hearing me being called all sorts of really nasty, negative things by a bunch of other guys and some weird lady. I think she gave up because for some reason, I'm the target. Because I actually stand up for myself. And good luck. I wouldn't want to come for something like me.
Come out stinking. If I told you I seen your wife with another man, you would laugh it off.
Make sure that people.
Somebody else told you 10
I'm a
minutes
good
later,
advocate,
and then somebody
man.
else, and then somebody else, and you kept hearing it. You would say, you go home and ask your wife who you been with. So when you listen to lies and BS, it will take effect in your mind. It is called brainwashing, and it will work.
Oh God!
You can't sit here and tell me that you can watch BS and say, "Oh no, I know the real thing. I know now." No, you don't. You don't.
You're talking about the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel. Oh yeah, that thing is still a nightmare. Still a nightmare. That thing is a nightmare.
Because none of us do. We're all weak. We're just humans. And that's the way our minds work. If you don't make the effort to tune it out and to put in your mind the good stuff and start finding joy, peace, happiness, security.
I know.
If you don't do that, if you don't push the table away from you,
I mean, if there's a statute of limitations and it hasn't expired,
the table. If you don't put the fork down, if you don't eschew the ice cream shops, if you don't quit the cigarettes, if you don't put the bottle down, if you don't pick up your devotional book and pick up the Bible and feed your mind and get the instructions of life, all you have to do is begin. That's half the battle. And just little baby steps. And once that takes hold and you get that habit going, then that's your new life. And then you're way better than 99.9% of the rest of the people in the world.
Yeah, we're bad people and we're ruining other people's fun. But this is fun because I know Tim got served by a process server and got handed that envelope at his house. And so I know he got the voice of justice. So I know. It's fun for me. Because Tim has been an absolute heinous bully on this platform to a ton of creators. Like the stuff that he and some of these folks did, flooding our email accounts. I mean, there was all sorts of things that these folks did to try to stop anyone having anything about Tim. Tim was really, going to shut the haters down. Just shut us all down. Up till recently copyright striking people's channels. And it was all of that. It was that and, Love's Cape about the fact that Love the Cape, I think it is. Love the Cape, loves the Cape, loves the Cape. That's it. Carl just saying that he wasn't going to do anything. And then me hearing that, and then just the way he then decided to call me out and like saying he didn't like the way I was doing such and such and how I called out trolls in my section and stuff like this. I was like, no, you don't, sir. And now, and I suddenly started thinking about it. I was like, you know what? I'm going to recuperate this money. I'm not just going to let it go. And then I have always a bunch of people, you'll never get this money and this, that, and the other. And the people are just saying this and they don't even know the law. People could just, love to talk like Tim. But it doesn't mean they actually put any action in place. Tim is screwed. And that's a legal term.
Because they're all lost. They're all following and the masses. They're watching social media and TikToks and all these things, man. They're just sucked in. And that boob tube right there, unless you're turning it on something that's educational and helpful for you.
Well, what about all the nonsense that you pop out to your audience, Tim? Do you think that your content is any quality worth watching? You don't think yours is garbage? I mean, you lie the entire time, half the time to your audience about half the stuff you do. I mean, I don't believe there was a guy who bought the gold wing. I believe in my mind that there was just a dealership that you sold it to. That's why we saw a bunch of paperwork along with the shit you got served from the process server sitting on your counter. Because if it had just been you switching out the gold wing with that other guy, the only thing that you guys would have had to do was switch a title over at the DMV. You wouldn't have had a whole packet of paperwork. I think you sold that thing on to a dealership because you wanted to get rid of it quickly. You didn't want to wait for a private sale. There's no way that you listed that bike and you got fourth owner over $2,000 what you paid for it originally. And that somebody flew in on a gang plane just to pick up that motorbike. And you never once filmed your way to that Tampa airport. And that was like an hour's drive. You would never lose an hour of filming and just talking absolute nonsense and garbage. There's no way. Absolutely no way. Okay, Tim, keep lying.
You are going down the rabbit hole. And that's not how you crush it. How you crush it is to change your life. Look above. Think good. Don't gossip. Live life and everything.
Yeah, don't gossip because Tim doesn't like gossip because gossip could actually mean that people know that Tim's going to court. And that these creators can't just bully small creators off of platforms when they hear things they don't like. And that's the thing that I would love to, really be able to get people who have channels to understand. Or when other people in your community, supposed community, I guess, because the really people who supported me have shown their true colors, and I know who they are, and they know I know who they are, and I really appreciate them. Other people are just, both, two-faced as can be. They don't, they're just, and I really don't have time of day.
I just said, crush it.
Yeah, whatever, Tim. All right, guys. I gotta get ready for work for tomorrow. I'm gonna have a busy day. Those tunnels in Norfolk, they're terrible. Yeah, they're still scary for people. They're still the same, still 2 lanes. And people still get petrified in those things. Yep, nothing's changed. They've been the same way since I was a little girl. So they built those things in like the late 60s, early 70s, I want to say. So you think those ones are bad? Go, if you've never gone through the actual Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel, that's some wild stuff because that goes under the water for like a mile. And that's where they filmed like a lot of those Mission Impossible scenes and stuff. So if you really want to go into a crazy bridge, you've got to actually go through the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel. That takes you out to the Eastern Shore. That's a wild ride. So yeah. Make sure you hit the likes, guys. Yeah, he's changing his life in the tin can. Oh yes. All right, guys. I want to thank everybody for all the memberships tonight. For Thomas being a new member and for gifting so many generous memberships, and for Sammy for being a member for an entire year. That's fabulous. I can't believe it. People watching this stuff for this long. And being my moderator too. That's even wilder. And I appreciate you, Sammy. And of course, Angel Glass reminding people to hit the likes. And Miss Catherine. I know you're up here, Miss Catherine. And if I'm not seeing you, there she is. Miss Catherine, I always appreciate you, my Antipod friend. And I'm sure you're going to be enjoying this. I mean, if it was a great live Z-Car, well, thank you for shouting me out in your comment section today. I did see that. I think you thought I saw that. So thank you for that. All right, guys, I got a busy day tomorrow. My little patient, she got to go see a doctor tomorrow. It's a scheduled visit, but she had a little touch of fever today. So we've been busy today. And I'm going to have a little cup of tea and some biscuits. I'm going to take myself to bed with these snoring dogs. And yeah, you just click the like button. Well, I appreciate that. Hey, thank you for my great work. Well, I appreciate it. I'm not the legal eagle attorney people and stuff. But I'm certainly going to find my way. And as I said, I've been thinking for the longest time, well, I'm not even going to get the $5,000. Oh, no, I'm getting the $5,000 too. I'm garnishing his YouTube money. And I have all this stuff that he shows, all this Facebook listings and all this stuff that literally show that this man has cash to his pocket. So he is going to have a very hard time. Plus, he supposedly has all these business assets that have been secured. That's the security for his EIDL loan. So it's going to be interesting. All right, guys. Appreciate you all. Hit the likes on the way out as a way just to say thank you for the time this evening. I appreciate your time. So for that, I'm going to make sure that I give you all one of these. That's because you are all fantastic. And look out for an announcement, and we'll see you on the next one, guys. Bye.
Life and Vibe, thanks so much. My queen, my Sarasota Tim expert.